When a parent tells you no, you gotta respect that, but Drake just does whatever he... Who is this guy?
I'm the Resmod guy. Install Resmod right now. Do you guys like Resident Evil? I do. It's one of my favorite video game franchises. I'm really excited for Requiem and whatever will get announced at the 30th anniversary.
Donald Trump, if you can hear us, please.
Resident Evil Universe is beyond.
I really like Resident Evil, and you know, if only there was a way to play as these characters that I really like in another game. No, not that one. These characters are super cool and iconic, and I really like crossovers, so it would be cool. No, not that one. If you were like me, then you remember watching videos like this back in the day, where people would make builds and Payday themed around some character. Payday's vast arsenal of weapons and skills allows for a lot of creativity and expression, which is why I love this game so much. Oh, not that game. This game. Today, I'm going to show you 3 builds inspired by Resident Evil characters that make use of Resmod's unique mechanics and perk deck reworks. Now, this build I originally made as a joke because I wasn't expecting the explosive bow to actually be good, but little did I know that this build is actually really good. Hitman is one of my favorite perk decks, and the pseudo melee playstyle along with the bonus health that it gives you fits Krauser very well. This is a pretty typical Hitman build, except for the weapon choices. Krauser's iconic weapons are his explosive bow and TMP submachine gun, both of which are in Payday and are actually a pretty decent combo together. The TMP acts as our main weapon with overall decent stats, and the explosive bow is used for shields, groups, dozers, or any particularly strong target, as it does a surprising amount of single target damage. The ammo pickup for this weapon is not great, but that's what our SMG and our knife are used for. With Hitman, you want to get a melee kill after every few non-melee kills to store up a bunch of bonus temp HP. And kills with the explosive bow do count for this, so you can shoot into a crowd to get a few kills and then finish off any stragglers with your knife to get a bunch of bonus HP. The Trotman knife is the closest knife to Krauser's knife, so that's what we're going to use. Unfortunately, there isn't a mod that adds Krauser's knife, but this is good enough. I'm running first aid kits just to deal with any large bursts of damage that we might take, and flashbangs because, come on, it's Krauser. You have to run flashbangs for a Krauser build. This build overall is very versatile and is a good adaptation of one of my favorite Resident Evil characters. It's really fun, and I recommend trying it out. Unfortunately, we don't have a way to translate the neck snap, but we can translate his other abilities. HUNK is John MP5, so of course we're going to be using the MP5. And for our primary, we are using the bigger MP5. We are investing into machine gun spray skills to emulate his mayhem mode from the RE4 remake, where he just has infinite ammo. Now I would also take ammo bag skills with this, but instead we're going to be grabbing skills that emulate HUNK's infiltratoriness. With Sneaky Bastard, Aced, and Rogue, we have a decent amount of health regen to help heal any chip damage that we'll take. And with our armor, we have a good spread of dodge, health regen, and armor, with a lot of bullets to spray everywhere. For grenades, either one flashes or frags, but I prefer flashes. Unfortunately, there's not enough skills to grab everything I would want to have a true hunk build, but you can drop some of the MG skills to, say, pick up Bloodthirst if you want faster reloads, and to thematically incorporate Hunk's iconic CQCZ style. The coolest, stupidest name. This build can be changed in a lot of different ways. The core is really just the mobility skills, and you can use whatever weapons you want and change your skills to accommodate them. The core of this build really is just using a medium armor with Rogue to have a decent spread of health, dodge, and armor. I've messed around with this build a lot, and there are many different ways to change this build to suit your preferences. You could run the normal ballistic vest, or even the heavy ballistic vest instead of the light vest, if you want to have more armor. If you want to run different weapons, like shotguns or assault rifles, then you would change your skills to accommodate those. You could also forego weapon skills entirely to grab like crits or melee skills, or even first aid kits. There's a lot of different ways to change this build around, but the core of it is just using Rogue without the standard suit. Rogue is actually pretty good with some of the bigger armors, as long as your dodge values are still positive. So yeah, with this build, you could even run the flak jacket if you wanted to. Now, this is the build I am most excited for, and is kind of the only real reason why I made this video. After asking very nicely for the devs to make the empty palm kata work with the new dev build Sociopath Tony, this build now exists. Tony is pretty stupid. It trivializes lower difficulties, but we're not playing on overkill. We are men, and we play on big boy difficulties. Tony kind of struggles before you're able to build up your combo, especially on larger maps, but once you get your combo going, you are going to kill everything in your path. Almost everything dies in one hit to your melees, and you're gonna have to be meleeing a lot because Tony reduces your ammo by a ton. You have to treat your melee as your primary, and you only ever really shoot if there's something that's too far away to melee or to like proc bullseye. The empty palm kata's gimmick here also is useful. Whenever you parry an enemy, you deal 120 damage to them base, but this damage will be increased by Tony's ability, meaning you could just run at enemies with your melee up and then counterattack them to kill them, dealing over 1,000 damage. A lot of the time you might get hit trying to melee enemies because of the super short range of the fist melees, so it can be smart to actually just not attack, but to run at enemies holding your fists up. And the guns here are mostly chosen out of flavor, but they're still good. Wesker has used magnums before, so we're going to be using the Resmod 500 Magnum to help deal with shields. It also can help deal with other strong targets, and our Samurai Edge pistol is just a decent overall pistol. Running an explosive shotgun also could be good to help deal with shields and dozers, but remember that you have very little ammo and really bad ammo pickup. But if you only ever use your ammo on scary enemies, you should be fine to just punch every normal enemy to death. Throwing knives are the closest we have to throwing shades, but flashbangs are probably better, so you can use those also. ECMs, I think, are good to help stun large groups to then punch to build up your combo very easily, but running medical supplies can also be good to help deal with the situations when you're low on combo and health and need to not die. Tony has an even more changing from passive to aggressive playstyle than normal Sociopath. Because you are super weak without combo, you have to play passive, peeking out only a little bit to melee some stragglers. But once you get your combo built up, you can go ham, sprinting down corridors super fast and just one-shotting everything. You know, it really just makes you feel like Albert Wesker. This build is really, really good in enclosed spaces and smaller heists, but it struggles a lot on the larger heists. Remember, this is the dev build version of Sociopath. The empty palm kata is kind of a bad weapon outside of this very specific setup because it does such little damage. The parry is nice but inconsistent. But yeah, giving it a 10 times damage multiplier does make it good. Honestly, this is just kind of worse than using the normal fist for Tony, because some things can survive punches from the kata if you don't get a headshot or a crit, but I like using it more, so that's what this build is. It's way more Albert Wesker than just punching normally. That's Chris's thing. So those were some more res mod builds. I really enjoyed crafting builds like this, and it's part of why I love Payday so much. If there are other build ideas you have, then let me know in the comments. And while you're down there, if you enjoyed this res mod slop, then let me know if you want more. Let's get more attention onto the better version of Payday 2. And if you're a true Resmodian, then stay tuned because I will have an announcement soon. That's all for me. Have a good day and download Resmod.